right, today's the day. We got big boy's car on the lift to start this build. First and foremost, got to get the oil, coolant out of it. Since this is a sealed transmission, unlike a T56, which I can get away with T56, I put a plug in the back. So fluid doesn't come out, sealed transmission, and it was just rebuilt. Not going to do that, but I'm going to get under it here and show you guys everything. I've already got the intercooler off, and you can see all the wiring up here because he wanted to put horns, and then he's got this wiring stuff for an extra kill here. But, you know, that's not for me to say. I like it, but I like less is more. But he also is like, well, you need more. So this is where me and Tony get along great because, like, we butt heads on certain things we like to do. Anyways, getting this engine out. Again, guys, this is for sale. I don't want to list a price in here because I'm not exactly sure, but it's going to be for everything. It's turnkey engine, which I'll have videos for all that. Car's running, driving. You literally plug and play it into your Supra. Already tuned. You don't have to do anything. Put it into your car, take it down the road, and make 800 wheel horsepower. I've got all the compression tests. I've got the idles, cold starts. I've got everything. The car runs and drives great. So I digress. Let's go ahead and start taking all the fluids out. So as I'm taking fluids out, I wanted to show you guys a couple things that makes Tony's car a little unique. This is a built V160. So it's got an Albin's billet center case in it here. Just completely rebuilt 200 miles ago, not even. Got his new carbon fiber drive shaft sitting there also. This is all XRP lines. It's very impressive. He's got everything wrapped. This is a vent tube for the catch can. He's got Öhlins on this thing, or has Öhlins. This also has air cups on it. It's quite an impressive vehicle, to be honest. Look at all this electrical here too then for electric fans, everything else. This is a oil cooler, which I'm gonna have to cut these lines here. Anything that's attached here. So I'm gonna have to take those off there. Those can stay on, but the rest, all right, those need to go. Anything that's electrical, I got to take this off because I got to get the radiator out. So nothing hateful, but this is cool. I like seeing it. This was for the IAT sensor that goes the whole way down. Just looking up in here, there's just a lot of stuff I need to disconnect and get off. Get these belts off too. I guess I can do that after the fact. I was just going to do it while I was in the car because it's a little bit easier. A lot of the drain lines, all that stuff can stay off because I take the engine off as one. Just trying to leave on as much as I can. I'm even going to take it out with the trans attached. The reason I'm doing that is it's just a lot easier to get the transmission off with it outside the car. And then I'll set it on a roller, which I have up there on the shelf. Just trying to look over a lot of things. This thing's cool. And if you're wondering what this is for his lame. And he knows I love to pick on him. But he has underglow in this. It actually does look really cool, but it's just more to it. Same reason I had to be careful here. Here's the electrical running over for it. Might have to redo this because I'm not, again, but I don't know if there's a good way of doing it. I'm not sure why it was ran right here. Electrical ran from up there maybe. I don't know, but that is not a great spot. So just things to look at. And this is constructive criticism. Tony knows I love him to death. But the rest of it, again, this is a 98. Look at this. It's just clean. It only has like 40-some thousand miles. Again, more electrical for his underglow. Got some Figs arms here. He's got a carbon fiber tank cover. Got gold shielding. Got brakes that look flawless too. So, all right, I digress. I'm going to shut up now. Let's get this thing out. Some other things too, just like document, like I need to make sure I get these power lines that are going up into here properly. Got some other things here. Sensor for the factory. Again, he's got this kill switch here. Again, I'm just trying to document as much as I can. This factory plugs here. Looks like that clip is broken off on that though. Look at that. Broken there. Yeah, there's just Tony. Bad Tony. This is a bad Tony. I want to clean all this up, which is fun because he's my friend, so I get to enjoy this a little bit more. And I get to do more. Like, we can have more time to do things. So this is fun. I enjoy this. Although I do need to fix my pile of junk, but that's my fault. I'm not going to blame Tony for my stupidity because I'm a dum-dum. Because look, but again, look at all this back here. Sensor here is great and all, but he knows how I feel about, I get it. You should mount them, but you can't tell me this banging around here is any better. Like, come on. Look at that giant post there. Like, there's just wires on wires on wires. This is insanity. Some of this is going to have to change. And I'm going to tell Tony, I'm going to tell him how it is. You're going to listen to me, tater salad. All right, guys, if you can't tell, a lot has happened here. Engine is out, and it's over there with the new engine. So, again, I've been trying to work as fast as possible here. There's a lot that's going out. So, we have to rob some parts off this, though. Not too much. Stuff like the alternator, some of the brackets and stuff that are specific, because this was a brand new block. This is all new. You name it, it has got it done to it. So parts like this, some of the bolts and stuff obviously have to be robbed out. That's a brand new AC pump. I'm right now taping everything off so I can paint his throttle body. so it can be nice and black. And this bracket here for the tensioner, because it's all going to be exposed now and he wants it to be black. It'll just look nicer that way. I got to pull these studs out too. It's a little bit of pain, but I can get these out, put the Powerhouse Racing and motor mounts on, and I'm just going through stuff. He also had this kit that allows you to do like the oil pans, things of that nature, which is really cool. Wanted to put on the rotator neck today, but I need a thermostat, and he ordered that, so waiting on those. Got some of the pulleys off here. Again, just trying to go through it all, and I've got all the parts laid out. There's a lot of stuff I want to discuss, so I'm going to ramble on here. Got to take the pressure out of the AC system, and I got to get the pump off here yet. As I pulled it off to the side when I pulled the engine out, there's a lot going on here. And now it gives you a better view. See all these wires? That's what I was talking about. There's just stuff everywhere. So hopefully clean up a little bit along with this stuff here. But yeah, some of this makes it cool too. Like he has his engine bay lights, which are pretty trick. But if we come over here to the list of parts, it is absolutely absurd how much he has. So this stuff for the open up the oil filter. We've got a brand new tilt and clutch over there. That's the HD heavy duty one. This is the sprung one that we took out. So that will be for sale soon. This is a back pressure sensor kit. So the car will be running a back pressure sensor, but it needs this to help dampen the signal. I'm not sure who makes this, but pretty cool. This is an Island Boys wiring harness. So again, I've got stuff for days here. Move this glove out of the way, but you can see here, Island Boys. This thing is really nice. I mean, look at this. It's very nice. And the extra connectors we need to even put in baggies for us. Everything's labeled nice. Like this goes down to the Haltech R5A. Every little thing is labeled. Nothing is not labeled or documented. This is also going to have a a fire plate or a plate at the firewall. As you can see here, very, very freaking cool. R35 coil packs. We are not going to be using this valve cover. We're going to go to something else. He wants to use a Hypertune valve covers, and we're going to do the PRP kit here. This actually has the built-in for the R35s, but he's going to switch us out, so that'll probably be up for sale soon too. We've got his turbo here. Look at this thing. Billy Freed at Freed Engineering went ahead and put the Van Jan clamp on it. Love that. It's already got the T51R mod too. Put this glove down here. We are going to be doing line lock, and there's also another one here. I think it's in this here. I believe, what is this? What is in this one? Let's take a look-a-roo. This is clutch slipper. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. We'll see how things go. I had to take the wastegates off that engine. Rod Dan upper coolant neck. We're going to be using Raceworks sensors here, which I've already got one sitting on it. We got to put Figs Engineering spherical bearings in. Center section to the turbo. This is a Tarks adapter. This goes to the front of the throttle body. That makes it a quick clamp. We're going to be using the Dula Designs clamp that allows us to go to the brushless fuel lab pumps. Same thing I have in my car. Switching over to that. So we come back over here. New BTI gauge. He has the same gauge in it, but he wanted it for a Haltech, so got that going. Speed sensor. We've also got a keypad, which you can see here. He's already stickered it up for me, which I think is pretty cool. So like burnout, launch, boost, up, down, valet mode. Some really, really trick stuff. We also have a CAN bus. We have the CAN hub because we're going to be running a bunch of stuff to the back, because this car, not only is it running a Nexus R5, which is a beast in itself. Let's go to the back of the car here. Because he is Tony. Tony is the man. He wants to run a PD16 just so he can pretty much control the pumps. Now, my buddy Steve, he's going to be making a harness for it for the Amphenol connector, which is pretty cool. I'm going to leave his information right here. He's been getting big into wiring too. So he's going to make a wiring whip for this thing that comes right off this connector. So in the future, if he wants to add anything, it makes it super easy. It's going to make it easy for me too. Only thing I'll have to run is for the 4-pin here, for the DTPs. I'll be running that off to run the controllers and then power up the two brushless pumps. So I got to take out the Powerhouse Racing hanger that's in here and put that new adapter on from Dula Designs. I've already started taking things apart here. He had these Kaizen relays, which are really trick too. You can like hit this button and it'll turn the pumps on or check them. So, but all this goes away because this is solid state. So it is your fuse, it is your relay, it is your everything. He also has a bottle in here because this has air cups on it that sits right here. So originally I was going to put this here, but now I'm going to have to mount it over here somewhere. Or mount, I just don't want to put it in the back, so I could put it back here in the trunk. I could face it like this, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out here. So I'm trying to figure it out. He's got one of these anti-gravity batteries. Look how little this thing is. And this thing is stupid how much amperage it puts out. It's absolutely wild, to be honest. So yeah, good bit to get done. There's a lot of parts here that's going to go up for sale. He's going to make a proper post. We'll go over everything. Got a ton of break-in oil here too. I started taking everything out from Brad Penn. Only the best. What else is there? There's just so much stuff. I got to put on knock sensors. I asked him to order another one. Got a ton of Wiggins clamps. He has a ton of that stuff too, which is from Wiggins and XRP for his fuel system. So it's a really trick setup. I'm going to clean up the engine bay here the best I possibly can. Unfortunately, can't get it painted in time, but we can clean this up, and I think we can touch up some of the areas. There's just a lot of stuff in here, so you can't see most of it anyways. Yeah, like this all gets covered. You can't see any of this. Just a few areas here, and I figure if we clean it, and then we get like 2K in a spray bottle or a spray can, my buddy Colton can handle that because he's good with that stuff. I absolutely hate it. Obviously, this is drive-by-wire too, so the pedal is over here. It unfortunately looks like it was sitting at the bottom of the ocean, so I might have to clean it up some, or maybe just ask him to order that one from that outsider garage because that thing is sick. Block off 4, excuse me, from Powerhouse Racing again. Throttle body block off. What is this? He's going to be running twin super sequential valves. I took his old one off here. He's got another brand new super sequential, so we're going to dose of those. Pre-lube for the engine. We're going to pre-lube the actual engine itself, so that's going to become really trick. And then we got a ton of vibrant clamps because everything's going to a quick clamp style. I'm trying to think of everything else, but yeah, there's more I'll be able to show here. Again, all this will be up for sale. There's some things I need to go over for the harness that we have to dive into a little bit. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, so as you see, it's how it'll come. Like, it'll come with all this stuff. This is like the best deal ever. Again, he'll have a post soon, and then I can make a video on it also. But beyond excited. I'm glad he's going to a Haltech. The AEM is great. I actually can't knock AEM, but this makes wiring a lot easier. Amphenol connectors are 10 times easier. Pinouts for this are a lot easier to work with, and since this is power and ground, like when you're running outputs, it just makes your life so simple, especially for the fuel pumps in the back. I don't need, you know, if this wasn't a brushless setup, you just run 2 power wires. That is your power fuse, and it's your pulse, and that's it, and you just run a ground. But in this case, we do have to run a little bit extra because this is to a brushless, which is a 3-wire system. So we have to run those, which is still our power and fuse. So don't need this, don't need relays. All that goes away at least. It still makes things a lot simpler, but I digress. Let's get into this a little bit more. Let's start taking some more parts off the engine. All right, so again, more stuff got done, but we've got the brushless fuel lab fuel pumps, same ones I have in my car currently. So these are good for roughly, if you're being safe, 85, 800 wheel horsepower cell, and I accidentally tested that theory. My car made about 34, 35 PSI, and then it did start to run lean, which the failsafe kicked in, saved the car, saved the engine. But yeah, the car was making close to 1,000 horsepower, and it was running off 1 pump. So realistically, 800 wheel and 85 is what one of these pumps can handle. So we got 2 in it because he's going to make about 1,200 or so. So it's more than enough, more than he needs, but it's better safe than sorry, and going away from the brush style pump. We also got the Rad Dan neck here with the Raceworks sensor. I'm waiting on 2 things to put in the lower rotator neck, along with this piece here for the fuel rail. I'm trying to figure out something here because we want it direct mounted, but it's just not working right now. And this fuel rail is getting replaced too, so ignore all the smudges on it. The anodizing failed on it for some reason, but waiting to figure out something on that. The big reason here, I wanted to lay out all the wiring and wanted to go over it here. So this is a mil-spec style connector or a mil-spec style harness, so it's 2 pieces as you can see here. So if we want to go over some of this here, this is what's going inside the physical car itself. So everything is nicely labeled. This is from Island Boys Tuning, so auxiliary in and out. So this must just have like inputs and outputs. These are factory connectors. It even says here, body connectors. This one here is coil power. Then he labeled each one saying, you know, Haltech R5C. So there's A, B, C. It's got those listed there. This one here is Haltech R5B. What is this one? Because there's 1, 2. I guess there's 4. So yeah, that'd be correct. And these here are CAN bus 2 and CAN bus 1. Again, I want to go over all these. What is this one here? This is auxiliary in and outs. He's got a bunch of those. That's cool. This is wheel speeds. Cool. Line lock. We've got to do that on the outside of the car yet. This here is for the wideband. And this is for the speed sensor for the turbo. So it looks like this stuff, I'm gonna have to run these items here are gonna have to run separately. And what is this one? That's the line lock. So line lock, these items here, I'm gonna have to run to like the wheel well to get up. Apparently these don't have enough pin locations on them, so they couldn't all fit up through. It's the only downside of mil spec, especially when we have this many wires. You can't, from our firewall connector, you can't fit 3 of those on there. It's unfortunate, so I have to run these up and through the little orange boot that's on the side here, so I'm gonna have to take out the wheel well liner. Now as we come up into the engine bay, there's a ton here. Again, it has these quick locks or mil-spec connectors, Island Boy wiring. This is all ray-chemmed and booted. Again, very nice. So let's go over all the labels here. What do we got here? This is fuel pressure. This is map pressure. What do we have here? Spare injectors. Oh, cool. So in case he does want to go 12, that is there. This is for the coil harness. So these are all your coils labeled out. And then there's your extra ground. I assume this would be ground to head. Yep. Knock 1. What is that? Injector 1. Reverse. ECU ground. Flex fuel. We got back pressure. And this goes down the transmission and reverse lamp and speed sensor. Flex fuel, injector stuff. And more injectors. What is this here? Cam sensor. This is for your oil lamp sensor. Oil lamp. Can't remember what that is off the top of my head. I'm having a little bit of a oil pressure. More fuel injectors, more knock. And then over here is fuse box A, AC, nitrous solenoids in case he wants to run nitrous. At this time he's not. Power steering, air temp. Again, nitrous solenoids. What is this one here? Did I ever do this? VVTi solenoid. Oop, as I hit a seat behind me. Oop. Temp gauge. And then we've got a boost valve for the MAC valve. This is for the crank sensor. This is for the coolant temp sensor. This is coolant and pressure sensor all in one. This is an alternator motor, which we don't need that because he's got a self, but he wanted to put it in there. Turbo speed, and then this last one is for the fans 1 and 2. So that is everything. That is the entire harness. It is very nice. Again, I don't know why wiring made that. Pretty trick. I don't know what it cost, but I can imagine it was not cheap. So another package from Powerhouse Racing for Tony's car engine over there. And I love you, Lance. You're the nicest person on earth. I love messing with those guys, so I love getting stuff like this. This is hilarious. But this is a, well, let me just pull it out. It's a box with a box inside of a box with gummy bears half eaten. Can't wait. Although I do need some boxes to ship stuff out with, so this kind of works out for me, to be honest. And then another box inside of a box. So I have been like the worst at recording Tony's car in this whole process. I can't deny it. It's just been, I've been just go, go, go. I've got a day job and I'm trying to fit this in, work on my car, work on the tune on Kat's car, and just kids, everything else. So I feel bad because I wanted to record this step by step. It just, none of this worked out the way I thought it would. And I feel bad because I love Tony to death. He's one of my best friends, and I'm not recording as much as I should. But anyways, there's a lot more that's gotten done. So let's go ahead and show you. So I actually just got done his brushless fuel pumps here. This uses a Dula design or Dula tuned. See it there? Mount that adheres or bolts to the Powerhouse Racing fuel hanger. So this is a fuel hanger you already had. And I love that they use titanium bolts. You see the Sharpie there? That's marking it to the depth I want it to be at, so it gets as far down the tank as possible. Now, I'm hoping that's right because I did measure it up beforehand. So yeah, you will need to use all 6 wires when you install this for the fact that this is a brushless system. So you got power, ground, and you've got signal, okay? So you'll see the 3 wires there. I got these, I think they're Metro Pack 280s. These are 10/12 gauge wire, pins on it. I just want to go up. These pull less draw than my 525s, but it's one of those things. I don't want to get inside the tank. I did it on my car. It's one of those things. I'd rather whatever's inside the tank to have the biggest, heaviest duty. Something happens outside, it's easy to get to, but getting inside your tank just sucks. Shorten up some of the wires. Don't only get too short, just in case you need to unplug it or need a little extra room for the future. So don't try to shorten these up. Shorten these up a ton here because these connectors come off also. And you're going to say, Ryan, why you got a connector on a connector? Well, I don't like hard lining into this because, you know, he's already changed out fuel pumps once before. So this allows now from here on out, he can do different brushless fuel pumps, whatever he needs to do. with 3-wire. That's all you ever need is a 3-wire setup as long as it's brushless. So let's pop this back in the car. All right, some more progress for Tony's car here. One thing we just got, my buddy Steve sent us this. If you guys want to check out Steve's 2JZ. He started making little harness whips and stuff like this. Just little things here and there. So see here, it says like spare HCO, all this stuff. I'm going to go over it a little bit more here in detail. So he made this because we don't really need any of this except for the grounds off of it, which is, it's wild. So we're going to literally have to make 4 wires that come off the pin, ground it out, and then the rest of it we're not using. We're only using the 25 amp. He's like, hey man, since you're just using that one connector, he's like, let me make something cool. Like this is way above and beyond anything we need, but this makes it easy now for Tony down the road when he wants to add stuff or do anything. It's already pinned, ready to go for Deutsch connectors. He made a whip here too. So this is a spare, I think this is for inputs. He even labeled a spare sensor stuff here. This is battery ground. What do we got here? This is spare high current outputs, 4 through 9. This one's 1 through 3. This one here is our CAN. This here is HBO, so the half bridge here, spare inputs, and then this last one here is what? What is this one here? Spare HO 4 through 9. Okay, that was just more we already had. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I think this is spare inputs here. I want to say he made this long for a reason. I want to say this is going to go for a bottle heater or something in case he needs inputs for it. But there's a reason he made it longer. So thought this was really cool. Thank you again, Steve, for helping us out. Guys, if you can, go check out his page. Go check out all of his work. It's really, really nice. Stuff is pretty freaking cool. I got another customer car in here now, which has a transmission out for a T56 swap for Jason. Wanted to go over some of the stuff here for Tony's car. Got the engine in. Everything's looking great. I've been really, really happy so far. So got the rotator neck on, got a rad Dan set up. We've done some more titanium here too. So we've got titanium bolts here, down below. I've got a few miscellaneous. Wire harness is fully into, nice and tucked for the most part. Waiting on the valve covers that should be coming in. We're going to be selling these ones, so if anyone's interested. This is by a company called CNC Innovations, based out of, I think it's Thailand. It has built in, the coil pack holders are actually built into it. It has 2 positions depending how you need them to angle. So let me know if you're interested. They will be for sale here. Ran the wires through. I am waiting for him to get, so you can see everything coming up through the runners there. Trying to get everything nice and tucked. Got titanium bolts here in the front. Did some titanium here too. Decided to paint this. Painted a few other items too. Painted the front of the water pump for him. Just a couple things. Just wanted to look as nice as possible here. Got to tidy up all this wiring here too. It's for the IAT sensor, which will run right down here. Just a couple of things. I've also got most of it wired inside for the PDM and stuff. So if we come inside here, my buddy Steve also made, Steve's 2JZ, made this for me so we can mount it. I put his keypad in here and I drilled a very small hole. So what I do is I de-pin the Deutsch connector so you don't have this massive hole. I de-pin the connector, make the hole just big enough to slip the 4 wires through, and then re-pin it on the back side here, and then ran it underneath. So you guys can't really see there, but ran it underneath this way. You don't have a giant gaping hole in your center console, as you don't need it once the wires are ran through. And this is just a 3D printed mount. So it left room for the wires and stuff. You had everything run through there. I thought this is pretty neat, and you can see it fits in there perfect. So if you have a CAN keypad, fits in there really nice. And this allows that there's room underneath of it too. Obviously you have your connector underneath, but there's room here. So it's not just smashed in there. I kind of want one of these, but at the same time, I use my center console a lot. I wish we just had one more spot. I don't want to get rid of my radio, but I do like this. And again, you guys can see some of the functions here. We're going to use one of these. You might have to replace the sticker because we're going to use it for his lighting for underneath the dash of the car. You might actually get another CAN keypad, and he could probably put one right behind it here because he's running out of buttons already, unless he wants to decide to, like, look, I'm not using like nitrous purge, which he put on there. He has bottle heaters. I'd probably replace these for now. So he's got 4 here that he doesn't plan on using anytime soon. So maybe we'll replace those stickers. And this all came with the Haltech pack, which is pretty cool. Most of the dash is all back in, but I got to take it back out. Actually, got to take the one panel out because I need to see where some of the wiring is going. Got his clutch slipper in here, and the whole point is I want you guys to see some of the stuff you're seeing, like why is it mounted this way or the other. The goal was no drilling of any extra holes, which makes it a little bit harder. So I use a factory stud here. I made a stainless steel hard line that goes into the tilt and master here. This is our line lock, which uses a factory bolt over here. It comes up and bolts into this from Powerhouse Racing. I wired in with some DTP connectors here. and just have them here. Shares the same ground, but they have two different signals. The reason I did that is I can make it easier by going over to the ECU that way. It's one wiring width from the ECU the whole way over, share the same ground, then just 3 wires total is all it's needed. Got the sensor in here for your map. Again, I put it directly in there instead of being mounting up here, which you saw before. Yeah, this manifold, I will say, gives you a ton of clearance. Most forward-facing manifolds like mine just don't have room there. So if I come over here, give you perspective, we'll come over to the wrecked Mamma Jamba. Like, I have a lot shaved, so I don't have much in mine. This shows you how little is in here. But, like, in this area is much tighter versus his. There's a ton more room in general. Like, it makes it a little bit easier to work on. If this wasn't here, this would be a lot easier to work on. I do prefer this style. I think this looks cooler, personally. But you also got to drill the hole. Now, he doesn't have to do that. So, it's kind of give and take situation there. What else do we got? Love those billet mounts. Those things are sick. We come over here too. TC8, we're trying to do whatever we can. I got to tighten this up. It's just loose right now. But the TC8 is going to mount over here so we can run the wiring straight over to the ECU. And then this is going to run from the top of the EGTs, run back and directly under the box. We also have our back pressure sensor mounted right here to a factory hole. And then I'm going to have to loop this. Sorry, I'll have to loop this down over here like so, something like that, zip tie it away. And then we've got our stainless steel hardline that I'll have to bend up here. This will go into the actual manifold itself, and because it's too hot to run the rubber line to it, we'll run this directly to the manifold, and then it'll come over to that rubber line. This is just to isolate the heat, and then it has like a noise reducer in it for the sensor too. We've also got this I need to mount up, but the manifold and stuff should be here today. What else is there? Oh, all the titanium stuff. He does want to wrap some of these pipes. He loves his wrap. I hate it. He loves it. I'm telling it even in the video because he knows how I feel about it. So yeah. I think that's it. I can't wait to see this manifold too because it's got jet hot coating. When he told me what it cost to get it done, it better be worth every penny. So this is it. This is all his parts. This is all that's left besides, let me say, the intake that was on it and these covers. Like, that's it. Like, so an intake and cover. But this is all the parts that's left. And this actually goes back with him. This is stuff for the coil packs of stuff, injectors. There's not a whole lot left. And then the fabrication is going to be done by Freed Engineering. So we are getting super close here, guys. And the manifold showed up from Jet Hot, and it's going right back after I just said it better be worth it. And, dude, yeah, it's going right back. And we want a quick turnaround. So I said, hey, expedite this. You know, we waited 8 weeks for it, and the coating did not even stick well. Very, very disappointed for what the cost is. And we're talking absurd numbers here for just the coating, nothing else. So going right back, waiting for them actually to get me my sticker or the thing for UPS. I'm going to run it straight over to UPS because we need this back. I cannot finish this car up until we get this. Yeah, I hate coatings. I get it. Like, I'm hoping this works as well as they say it does. If it doesn't, then it's really not worth it. But coatings, I've never had a good experience with any type of heat coating. And I don't believe in turbo blankets. I know maybe I'm weird. But yeah, besides that, we should be good. So unfortunately, we can't do really anything until that gets back because I can't do much else. So that ends it for this video, and hopefully the next one, we will be able to do the fun stuff, to try getting the car started up, go over some of the PDM stuff, go over some of the ECU side of things, because again, he's got all this cool stuff inside of it. Yeah, so guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. I will hopefully have some video on this. I want to get these cars out, so that's why I want to get that done and that, so I can start mine, and I'm going to try and go fast as possible with my car. Like, I want to, bust my hump. I want to be moving as quick as possible working on my car. So guys, again, thank you very much. Questions, concerns, let me know down below. Peace!